Hello everybody, welcome to Totally Tabled. My name is Shaggy, and today I'm doing a solo playthrough of Keyside. In this latest game in the Key series, players control a group of keeples who work on a busy island with 12 different harbors. Now I went ahead and I got everything set up for a solo game. You're going to randomize the locations of the 12 different harbors, the scoring tiles on those harbors, the farms, and the markets, just as you would for any player count. Make sure the harbors are on the 2 to 3 player side. You're going to set up the 3 boats as if you were playing a 3 to 4 player game. On the forest, quarry, and wheat field spaces, you're only going to place 3 resources. Place 6 gems of each color in the gem bag. You then need to roll a die and place the 1 to 2 flag tile by that numbered harbor. Place the 3 to 4 flag 4 harbors away, and then the 5 to 6 flag 4 more harbors away. That way they're perfectly equidistant. For the solo opponent, known as the Ketoma, take 3 random dice strips, select 1 at random on either side, and set up their dice to match the strip. Select a color for their keeples and another color for pirate keeples. We get the 4th dice strip set to the light blue side. Once you become familiar with the game, you can set up your dice however you want, as long as you have a die for each of the numbers 1 through 6. Lastly, you need to select a random A, B, and C beacon tile. To win the solo game, we must satisfy the goal of at least 2 of these beacons at the end of the game, in addition to scoring at least 120 points. For this game, we need to have 3 adjacent headlands, and or retain 3 skill tiles of the same color, and or score 35 points from harbors 4 and 10. Now I'll go over these goals in more detail as we play. There you have it, that's pretty much set up complete. We're now ready to begin. Keyside has a lot going on. There's a lot of icons and rules, but I think it's best if we just start playing, and I'll explain the rules as I go, just like I always do. Keyside takes place over 3 rounds, with 2 phases in each round, starting with the landing phase. I begin with the start marker as well as the lead marker, so I get to take the first turn. We must select one of our dice and place it into an open harbor. An open harbor is just a harbor without a die already on it. Right now, all the harbors are open. Now, because of this C beacon, harbors 4, which is right here, and harbor 10, which is right there, those are really important harbors to me. So I think I'm going to start by placing a die in harbor 4. And I'm going to use this green 2. I now must select a boat with a sailor that matches the color of the die I use. So in this case, green. And I must move it to the harbor, but the maximum number of spaces it can move is equal to the value on the die. So in this case, 2. I actually have a choice because I could move this ship 1, 2 and get here, or this one 1, 2, because the ships can move either clockwise or counterclockwise. Keep in mind that these boats can sail past each other, but they cannot land in the same harbor. I think I'll go ahead and just pick this one, and we'll move 1, 2. And then we simply just drop off the matching colored sailor into the harbor. Just like that. You must be able to complete these steps in order to place a die into a harbor. And just to be perfectly clear, I could have used any of these other dice and placed it there and moved this ship as well. You don't have to use all of your movement. At this point, other players may follow me and place their green die into this harbor. But they can only do it if the value of their green die is equal or less than the value of the die that I placed. So in this case, if someone else had a green 1 or a 2, they would be able to follow. We're not playing a multiplayer game, so the only other player is Ketoma. They have a green 4, so that means they're not going to be able to follow my action. But what if they happen to have a green 1, for instance, let's say? Well, in that case, they might follow, but it's not guaranteed. To decide whether or not they're going to follow, we need to take an unused die, and I'm just using a die that I already have, just one of my own, just to avoid confusion. We roll it, and if the harbor has a flag token, then they'll follow on any roll but a 1. So I rolled a 1 here, so in this case they actually wouldn't follow. But let's say I rolled a 3. Because there's a flag here, they would follow. If it's at a harbor that doesn't have a flag, then they're only going to follow if you roll a 5 or a 6. They're much less likely to follow. But in this case, obviously, they can't legally follow anyway, so we don't need to roll or do anything. Now, at this point, if any headland tiles were adjacent to this harbor, we would get to resolve them. The headland tiles are these, and they can be built just on any of these little corners like that. And so if there was one in either this location or that location, we would get to resolve it. And in a multiplayer game, any other players that followed this action would get to resolve their own adjacent headland tiles. In the solo game, we don't have to worry about that because Kitoma does not build headland tiles. They may build landslide tiles, but those just block those spaces and don't actually get resolved. Now, the next step is to advance the activity marker on our player board that matches the color of the die that we placed. In this case, the green track. We advance it up 1 and immediately gain the benefit. I get to add 2 sheep to my barn. And the final step of our turn is we get to move one of our keeples up to 3 spaces into this harbor. Now, it could be a keeple from anywhere on the board, but at the start of the game, we only have our beginning 6 keeples that are here in the central town. In the solo game, just like in the 2-player game, there are only 4 keeple spots available on each harbor. So we're going to take one of our guys and go 1, 2, right into the harbor, just like that. In a multiplayer game, any players that followed this action, like put their dice here, would also get to bring keeples in. If Kitoma followed, they would just, grab a meeple from their supply and place it in. The reason we want keeples here is in order to activate this tile during the activation phase, but also because at the end of the game, we're going to score points based on the scoring tile for every keeple that we have in that harbor. You can see here for 4, it's very simple. We're going to get 1 point for every wheat token that we have at the end of the game. And the maximum number of points that we can get per keeple is 12. So if we had 3 keeples here, and we had 12 wheat at the end of the game, we get 12 for each. That'd be 36 points. And that would satisfy this beacon here, because we need to get 35 points at the end of the game between spot 4 and spot 10. So one of my goals is to get as many keeples here as I can, and then hoard the wheat for the end of the game. Okay, now with that done, we now must move this flag token. Okay, we do this anytime someone lands on a harbor with a flag tile. You simply move it clockwise to the next harbor that has not been landed on yet. The next open harbor. So in this case, it's just right there. To clarify, you want that to be an open harbor without a flag token on it. If there aren't any other open harbors, then you would simply move it to the next flag token. Then, when a harbor opens up during the resolving phase, you're going to move the lowest numbered flag to that open harbor. In effect, you always want these flag tokens to be on open harbors. And there we go. That is my turn completely done. Now, let's pretend for a second that I couldn't legally place a die in an open harbor, or I didn't want to for some reason. Instead, I can place a die at the bottom of my track of the corresponding color. I can then advance the skill marker and immediately gain the benefit. And then that would be my entire turn. So that is an option, but it's one that you'd like to avoid if at all possible. Okay, I'm now going to pass the active player marker over to Kitoma. Now they get to take their turn, and we're just going to keep going back and forth taking turns until one of us has placed out all of our dice. At the start of Kitoma's turn, you just roll an unused die. All right, a 2. So that means that they are going to place a die on the 1 to 2 harbor, as shown on that flag. The die that they're going to place is always the higher median die. So it's going to be the middle die. In this case, there's a 3 and a 4 in the middle. So they're going to place the higher one, which is the 4. They never move a boat, and they never place out a sailor meeple. They do, however, place a keeple. If there wasn't room for one, they'd place the keeple in the first available space, moving clockwise. We now have the opportunity to follow. And unfortunately, we already placed our green die, so we can't follow. But I want to make it clear that I could see at the beginning of the game that their first play was going to be that green 4. So if I wanted to, I could have held off using my green 2 in order to follow now. You do get that kind of foresight in the solo game. Like right now, I can see that their next play is going to be that 3 purple. I won't be able to follow that because I have a 5 purple. But if I play my 5 purple, then they will follow. So these are the kind of strategic decisions you can make in the solo game. Now, I ultimately decided I wanted to play my green die because when you follow, you don't get to move up on your skill tracks. That's the negative side of following. But not following means that this round, I'm not going to be able to go to that harbor. So it's a trade-off. Okay, so that's it. We just move this flag tile. And that's the end of the Kitoma's turn. It's really that easy. It goes right back to us. Yeah, I have to do this. I'm going to take my yellow 1. I have to put it 1 space away from a ship because it can only move 1 space. But that is the place I want to go. Kitoma cannot follow with that 2 yellow. I get to move up this track, and now I have an option. I could either move to the left here and get 2 wheat, or I could move to the right, and that symbol means that I can move up on any other track. I do want wheat, but I think I'm going to be getting wheat in other ways. I'm going to go here so I can move up on another track, and I want to move up on the red track. Again, I have a choice. I'm going to go to this left side. That's going to let me place 2 more of my keeples in town. From my supply to the town, so now I have more keeples to work with to move around. Instead, I could have done this movement. That would have let me move 2 meeples 3 spaces, or 1 meeple 6 spaces. I can now move a keeple over there. And there we go. That is it. This landing phase can go back and forth really quickly. So, we know the middle die is this one. We roll to see where they're going. Okay, rolled a 1. Right there, I cannot follow. And that's it. Back to us. Ooh, I'm not sure if this is a good idea. I'm a little bit worried about the solo opponent coming here, and then I'm not able to follow, and I'll miss out on this. I'm similarly afraid of that spot, but I can't cover both. So I think I'm going to come here. I'm going to play my 6 orange. Five, 6, coming all the way around. Bit of a traffic jam here. And with this 5, they are able to follow. So I get to move this up. I could either get a wood or a stone. I'm gonna go wood. We can move 1 in. They're going to move 1 in. Oh, no, actually, I'm sorry. I need to roll to see if they actually are going to follow. They're going to follow, because this has a flag here, they're going to follow on anything but a 1. Oh, and I rolled a 1. Okay, never mind. They're not following. That's right. They don't automatically follow. So we need to move this. It's going to come over here. And that's it. So now they're going to play their orange die. Please don't be a 1 or a 2. Okay, 6. That's fine. I don't mind that. They're going to come right here. I obviously cannot follow. And this moves on. Now I want to come here. I could move this 1, 2, 3, 4 and go up there. Play my blue. Solo opponent won't be able to follow. That seems like a good idea. And then from there, I can play 1, 2, 3, my red 3, and hop in right there. Yep, I like that plan. Blue moves up, we get a fish. Okay, pretty good. They're placing their yellow. Oh, wait, I gotta move this. We can't go there because it's closed. We can't go there because it has a flag on it. So we have to go here, and that is a problem because I really want to go there. Let's really hope that they don't roll a 1 or a 2. Oh, and it's a 2! Grr! Gonna have a lot of wood and nothing to use it on right now, but that's okay. I can't follow. Man, that sucks. Could come here and build a house. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 away. Ooh, I need something that's 3 away. I could back up 1, 2 like that. This also wouldn't be a bad place to go. I think I'll go here. 1, 2. And I'll use my purple 5. This boat is getting a little empty, which might hurt me in round 2 and 3, but it's okay. They can't follow. We move this up, and we're gonna get a gem. So we just go to the gem bag, draw a random one out. And here it shows that because we reached this spot, this level, at the end of the game, we'll get to score 1 point for 1 color of our choice. If we move it up to the next level, we'll get 1 point for 2 colors, and all the way at the top here, we'll score points for all of our gems. Now we have to move this flag. All of those are closed. It's gonna come here. And these are actually the last 3 harbors that are open. It's going to use the 6. That's higher. Come on, roll a 5 or 6. Yeah, there we go. Going right here. I didn't want to go there anyway. And so now when we move this, there's no open place for it to go, so it's just going to go to the next flag. Now I have a very easy choice. Do I back up here or do I go there? And they'll probably follow. So let's just go here maybe. Yeah, we'll go here. So we're going to go 1, 2... Because there's a flag there, they're going to follow on anything but a 1. Okay, a 2, so they will follow. My red goes up. Once again, I have a choice. I'm gonna get 2 more of my keeples in here, because you can see they're running out, running a little low. I move one in, they move one in. That's gonna move to there. It moves over to their turn, and they are out of dice. And so we now begin, or, each player begins the next phase at their own pace. So because they followed, they're sort of one step ahead of me. They're going to end their placement phase or their landing phase, and they're now going to go to the resolution phase. This is the phase where we're going to pick a harbor where we have a keeple, and we're going to activate that harbor. So first you have to figure out which harbor Kitoma is going to resolve first. For that, we just roll the die, 2, and we would go to the harbor that has that flag. Obviously, all the flags are on the same harbor, so we didn't have to roll the die. We know it's going to go there. We're then going to move clockwise, and we're just going to resolve the first harbor that has both a die and one of Kitoma's keeples on it. And that's right here. So we're resolving that one. Now here's the thing. Kitoma does not resolve these harbors based on what the harbor does. Instead, they go off this resolution chart based on the color of the die that's there. So for us, or any other player, if we were playing multiplayer, they would resolve this tile based on this, which is spending a certain amount of wood in order to build one of these headland tiles. The amount of wood that you have to pay is based on the sum of the dice that are there. For example, with this 2, you can see 1 or 2, you only have to pay 2 wood in order to build one. But Kitoma doesn't care about any of that. They're just going to go based on their chart. So for the yellow die, what they're going to do is we're going to pick one of the cottages, one of the colors of cottages that we have not built yet at random. So I haven't really talked about these cottages, but they're all up there. Over the course of the game, we can build 1 cottage per color. And it's the same colors as our skills here. So we just put them in these spots up there. Now the cottages can also be upgraded, flipped over to their house side. And you'll get to see us build one of those because that's what this spot does. But at this point, I haven't built any. So in order to pick a random one, we're just going to roll the die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2. Okay. So we're going to ignore the green column. And instead, Kitoma is going to discard a random cottage in each of the other columns. Now, they don't really give you a good way of picking these things randomly, so I don't exactly know how to do that. I'm just going to roll the die until I get a 1, 2, 3, or 4, and we'll just lose that one. So let's start with the yellow. Two. That's really annoying because that was the cottage I was going to build. That was going to give me points for wheat, and obviously we want to hoard a bunch of wheat, so that was going to be the obvious one to build. Now they would place a pirate keeple in one of these farms if it was unclaimed and had at least 2 animals on it. Now, right now, none of these farms have animals, so they're going to skip that, and instead, they're going to place a pirate in this harbor. So that's just filling up the spots for us, if we wanted to come in here for round 2. And then they're going to place a pig on a random unclaimed farm. Now, they do give you a way to pick a random farm. You're going to roll the die again. You're going to start at that harbor. Again, all the flags are in the same place. So we're going to start right there. We're going to go inland, and then we're going to go clockwise to the first unclaimed farm. Boom, right there. Now on these farms, we can place animals onto the icons that are there, and then we get that icon. We get that benefit. When picking which one to do, they're going to do it in a specific order. They will first go onto gems, then fish, then wheat, then stone, and then wood. So right now, wheat is sort of the best thing on that tile, so they're going to cover that one up. They don't get the resource or anything, they're just covering it up. And there we go. That's their resolution of the yellow dye. It now comes back to us. Oh, wait. Actually, there's one more thing we have to do. This harbor is now open, so we need to move the lowest flag into that spot. Now it's our turn, and if we had dice still remaining, we would still be in the landing phase. We would still be placing dice out. But we're out of dice, so we now also transition to the resolving phase. And we can pick any of these harbors to resolve that, we have a keeple in. For resolving these harbors, it doesn't matter how many keeples you have. You're just going to get to resolve the harbor once. What do I want to do first? This is where timing matters big time. And so it's very important that I get my wheat right now. So we're going to resolve that space. Since the sum of the dice there is 1, we're going to get 2 wheat. And now here's the thing. If there's wheat in the wheat field, just like wood in the forest and stone in the quarry, you take from there first. So we're going to take the 2 from there. If the field was out of wheat, then we would take it from the supply. And now we'll move the lowest flag over there. And there we go. Technically, you're supposed to leave the dice off to the side, just to show that you've resolved it. Okay, next up, we'll roll, but it doesn't matter. Starting there, going clockwise, this is going to be the one that they activate. And this is why it was so important that we got our wheat when we did. Now, we're first here, so we get to activate this first. We sum up the dice. It's 4. That means it's going to cost 2 wheat in order to build a cottage. So I have my 2 wheat. I'll spend it. And now I can pick any one of those cottages to build. Like I said, they took the one that I wanted, which would have given me a point for every 2 wheat that I had at the end of the game. That would have been perfect. There's all sorts of different things here. I have put out a lot of keeples, and I do plan to try to put as many keeples out as possible. The K house, which is a red building, it says that for every 6 of your keeples anywhere on the island, you'll get either 1 point if it's a cottage or 2 points if you've upgraded it to a house. That's not a lot of points, really. The most of that could be worth is 6 points. I kind of like the J one. It says for each of your keeples in a market, you'll get 2 points for the cottage and 4 points for the house. That seems more my speed. Yeah, let's go for that one. Let's go for J. Oh my god, that one got taken as well. Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay, so my second choice is now gone. Wow. Fantastic. Well, let's go with K then, I guess. So we'll just put that right there. And now Kitoma gets to go. They're going to resolve the red die. And again, we just check their resolution chart. They are simply going to place 2 pirates on this harbor. So just like that, this harbor is completely filled. All right, that was theirs. It comes back to us. What do we want to resolve now? At this point, it matters a little bit less. I think we're just going to resolve right here. Now, this is going to let us move one of our keeples up to 3 spaces, and then we can resolve a market. And in order to resolve one of these markets, you have to have a keeple on it. Now, technically, we could do these in either order. So we could activate a market and then move, but since we don't have anyone on a market, I think let's move to a market. Gonna move to that market, and now we can activate it once. And again, keep in mind, I could have moved, this keeple if I wanted to. You don't have to move just from the center. I could have moved them 1, 2, 3 and made it there and just abandoned this location. Now, before I activate this market, I do have the option of spending a fish in order to flip it over. You can see that little fish icon there at the top. But I don't want to do that. Instead, I'm going to just activate this, and this says that we can exchange 1 sheep for 2 wheat, or 2 wheat for 1 fish. So I'm going to discard one of my sheep, and we're going to get 2 wheat. Again, we take it from here if we can, and then we can take the rest from the supply. Then at the end of the turn, when a market's been activated, you flip it. So now it's just the opposite. 1 wheat for 2 sheep or 2 sheep for 1 wheat. Boom, done. We're going to roll, even though it doesn't matter, because we're coming around to here. Activating the blue die. For this one, they're just going to randomly select 2 of the highest value skill tiles and remove them. Now those down there, those are the skill tiles. They're all showing 5 victory points. The one underneath will be 3 victory points and then 1 victory point. So right now they're all at their highest value. So we're just going to roll and they're going to randomly take 2. So we got the green one and the orange one. Those are gone. Now those skill tiles, we can actually gain those in various different ways, and we can spend them in order to move up our skill tracks, or we can hold them till the end of the game. One of my beacon objectives is to retain 3 skill tiles of the same color. So it was actually kind of slightly annoying that they took that green one. You'll see why here in a second. Back to us. And in fact, you might see why right now. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll resolve this. So over here on this harbor, we can once again move 3 steps. Just going to move to right there. And now we can take a skill tile, but we can only take a skill tile that's the color of a market where we have a keeple. So right there, I had a keeple on the green, so I could have taken a skill tile from the green. I'm trying to take 3 of the same color, so that's not going to work. So instead, I moved over here to this red market, which will now let me take a red skill tile. I could spin that in order to move up the red track, but we're going to hold on to it, hopefully get the other 2 for that beacon. So right now, we're kind of going after these 2 beacons and ignoring that one. That's my plan anyway. Now, other than that harbor, another way that we can get those skills is with this blue track here. You can see that action right there. And then also on this tile, you're able to do that as well. All right, we're done. Moving over. Their next one. We're going around. No, yes, right here. So that's the orange die. This one's simple. They're just going to place a landslide tile, which is one of these. This is the back side of the beacons. They're going to place it clockwise from that harbor. So it's going to go right here. And this is just simply blocking spaces for us to build our own headlands. Very simple. Back to us, we'll just do this one right here. A 6, that means we're getting 3 wood. So boom, taking it from there. We now have a lot of wood. They're moving clockwise, so they're coming to here. For the green die, they're going to place a cow on a random farm. So we learned how to do random farms. We roll the die. 6. This farm is unclaimed, so they're going to go there. Now pirates are going to claim any of the forest, quarry, and wheat field tiles that have not already been claimed. Place a pirate in the empty keeple space. So that just happened. So when this forest cleared out and got cleared of all of its goods, it flips over, and now there is a spot for a keeple to claim it. Oh, and I guess this happened here too. Oh my goodness. So the pirates are actually going to claim both of these. That is bad. It's a really good thing to claim because, one, it's worth 3 points at the end of the game, but also when you go to one of these spots where you get resources, you get double the resources if you've claimed the appropriate location. So here for this wood, if you would claim the forest, you would get double the wood. I really wanted to get that one, but didn't work out. Now, if it had not been possible for the pirates to claim one of these, they would have instead claimed any unclaimed farm that has at least 2 animals in it. And now finally, regardless, they're going to place a sheep on a random unclaimed farm. So let's roll again. A 1. So that's right here. Here's the first farm in clockwise direction. So they're going to place a sheep right there. That was brutal. I now just have this one spot left. So we will resolve it. The die is a 5, so I'm just getting one of my keeples into town. Could have been better. Now they have their last spot. For the purple die, they're going to draw 2 gems from the bag. And if they're the same color, they'll remove one and return the other. Otherwise, they'll remove both. Ah, so they were the same, so they're just going to remove one. Now, at this particular spot, this is how you change turn order. And so they're actually going to move to that spot right there and get this first player marker. So that means that they're going to get to start round 2. At the end of the round, we're going to take all of the sailors that we used and we're going to put them back in the box. In the solo game, all you have are these that you're working with for the entire game. Now we're going to flip over our dice strip to the other side. Again, once you become, knowledgeable of the game, you can set up your dice yourself. And then for Kitoma, you're going to take one of the 2 dice strips that you didn't use. And again, you can do it on either side. I'll just flip it. Then set up their dice accordingly. And there you go. We're going to start round 2. We're going to play out exactly the same way. The difference is that some of these boats don't have certain sailors in them. So the puzzle of how to move them around and activate these harbors is a little bit trickier. But we already have keeples in some of these harbors. And so as long as there's a die in the harbor and you have a keeple there, you'll get to activate that harbor. You don't have to have one of your dice there. As long as someone has put a die there and you have a keeple there, that's all you need. Following, of course, helps you move a keeple into that harbor. So that might be one reason why you want to follow. So the puzzle gets trickier and trickier as you go. All right, let's start round 2. Kitoma goes first. 6. I am unable to follow. I'm going to use my yellow die here. It's only 3, but that's okay. They cannot follow. I'll do this so that I can move up my blue. I'm going to go here, which is going to let me activate one of the markets. I'll activate that one. Of course, I have to have a keeple there. So I'm going to spend one of my wheat to get 2 sheep. it flips back over. All right, that was my turn. Five. I could follow if I want to, but I don't want to. There's no room here anyway. They're going to try to put someone in here. It's all full, so they're going to go clockwise. Of course, I'd love to be able to lock them out of here completely. So maybe that's what I should do. We can go 1, 2. Yeah. We'll come here. Oh, there's no red there. See, this is where we get into trouble. And we can't back this one up either. And if I use my orange, they might join in. I could use my purple. It's a waste of a 6. But I really don't want them coming here, so I am going to do that. I'll use that one. They can't follow. Purple goes up. Get to draw 2 of these out of here. 1, 2. And then, you know what? I will move 1 in there. Go there. All right, right here. And I can't follow. Now I want to use my 2. Boom, just like that. Red's going up. I'm going to get 2 more. They can't follow. Okay, well done. Two right here. I can't follow. Didn't want to anyway. Now this one's going to go here. Now it's getting a little tricky. Nope, I think I have to do the green one. I've almost completely emptied that ship, but that's okay. Cannot follow. This is going to move up. Now I can either get any one of those animals into my barn, or I can place 2 animals out into a field and move one of my people into that field. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to take 2 sheep. I'm placing them on both of those wheat. And then I'm going to move someone in there. So I now have like control of that farm. I'd also like to move someone over there too, but we're going to have to wait on that. And now I could move someone in there. Do I want to? I don't think I do. Although that is 4 points for every 3 sheep. And those sheep can be either in, farms that you own, that you control, or in your barn. So right now I do have 3 sheep. I was thinking of selling that sheep here to get 2 more wheat. Well, I could always move them out if I need to. We'll pop them in there. All right. Five here. I can't follow. I want that to activate. I definitely want that harbor to activate. I'm already here. I want this to activate too. And I wouldn't mind being in there. That one's probably most important. So I think I'll use my 3. Oh, wait. I'll have to use this guy. 1, 2, 3. That still works. They can't follow. My orange thing goes up. Now, this just means that when I build one of these, it will cost 1 less. And I'm not going to move anyone in there. I'm just going to... I already have someone there, so I don't need to move anybody. And this is going to come all the way around here. 4. Perfect. I cannot follow. Those all go there. And now I either have to go there, or I can just bring this down and move that up. But we'll go there. And I do want to move someone in there. But first this goes up. I could get 2 fish, but I'm going to come here to get a skill token. And again, we need to get 3 of the same color. So let's get that. And is there someone I could move over? Yeah, I'll move this person over. 1, 2, 3. Great. Okay, Kitoma's first. They're going to activate going clockwise from the flags, which means they're going to do this one right here. I'm actually first, and I think I have to take the skill token. But there's time. There's time to take that. No, I'm just going to go ahead and take it. And then because I played here, I get to switch and become first player. So I'll be first player in round 3. Kitoma then gets to go, and they're just putting 2 pirates. So wow, so this space is actually full now. That is a shame. It just means it's going to be really important for us to maybe even get 2 more people here and just get all 4 and lock down this spot. And then just get as much wheat as we can. But the good news is we've completed that beacon. And yeah, if we can just lock down this space, we can probably complete that one pretty easily. So the hard part now is going to be getting 120 points. I don't think we're going to be able to do that, but we'll do our best. Okay, our turn to resolve something. Where do we want to go first? Probably want to go here first. Yeah, so let's do that. Just a 1, so we get to put 2 people out. And they're going to do blue, so it's going to be 2 random of the sort of highest level ones. So there's 3 choices there. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that'll be this one. Oh, and we need to put these out. So that goes there. This one goes here. Now we need to roll 4. So here we go clockwise, and they're going to resolve this one. So they take that one, and now it's any of those. And now I actually get to resolve this location. All right, so I can move 1 animal from my barn out here. And then I can move into the base. The problem is I was going to use that to come here and get some more wheat. But I can get wheat by doing this. So I think I will. I'll go here, get a wheat. No. Then I'll move into that one. When you're doing that move, it doesn't have to be into the farm where you place the animal. It could be any farm. Okay. I think that worked out just fine. Now where are we going? We're getting 1 wheat over there. I could go here to get 2 pigs. I think I'll go here. We'll activate that. I'm going to do this market first. Then I get 3 moves. I'll move that one into there. All right. 6. So the next one for them is right here. Drawing 2 out of the bag. And if they're the same, yep, put it back. Discard 1. Yep, then I'll go up there. Or, wait a minute. No, forget that. I have a second thought of what I want to do. We can grab one of these greens, because we have someone there. Then I get 3 movements. I'm actually going to come in there, and you'll see why. Over here, doesn't really matter because we're coming around to this spot. They're going to do the yellow. We have a red, so they're not going to take from the red column. They're going to take from every other one. So I'm just going to roll to get some random houses removed. Okay, there's no spot to put a pirate on a farm, so instead they put a pirate here, but there's no space because I blocked it. So they're going to put a pig on a farm. Need to roll to this farm like that. And now I can come here. It's going to cost me 4 wood minus 1 because of this. So 3 wood, which I have. That's going to let me build one of these. Now, let's go over these so we can see what I might want to build. Okay, A is just you get fish. That's easy. It's either 1 or 2, depending on what side the boat has docked on. Once again, the lighthouse is similar. You either get skill tile or you can visit a market. There's a rally point. That's just, getting some of your men out. But these are the ones I'm really looking at. This one's just 8 points. This one's interesting. This one's just as if you have an extra person on that harbor, and it's 2-sided, so you can put it on either side. That could be amazing, like right here. And that could just be another meeple right there for scoring. That is hard to beat. This one is we score 2 points for every keeple that's in the adjacent 2 harbors. I mean, that could be great right here. If we have a fourth one here, that would be 5. So that'd be like 10 points right there. But I think this would be close to it. So I think we're going to put this right here. So now it's as if we have 4. We put another one here. That's 5. And that means if we had, 6 wheat, then that's 30 points right there. We would only need 5 more points from here. And we already have 4 animals in farm. So we would just need 1 more animal in a farm, and then we'd complete that tile. So that seems like the best plan. We'll at least get our beacons built. That's for sure. Cool, that was them. Now our turn. I'll just go there and get my 1 wheat. This again doesn't matter because we're just going around and we're hitting here. So it costs 2 wheat to build a building. I actually think I need to hold on to the wheat. So I'm not going to build. One here. And then they're going to put a sheep. Over here, because those are taken. All right. I wish I had some movement. I think this is the only one that I can activate. And unfortunately, I don't have any movement. Okay, well, gotta activate this one. Just getting 1 wood. Yellow's happening again, so... All right. And they're going around. They're putting this one out. This spot is blocked. Yep, so they just go clockwise until they find one that's available. Boom, landslide. Oops, so that was what they did. And now it comes back to us, and the only one left is this, and we don't have anyone there. So when that happens, we have a little bit of a choice. We can either take 2 of any resource, but not fish, so wheat, stone, or wood, or we can move up on any one of our tracks. I think I gotta go resource. We now basically have the wheat that we need. And then it goes back. They're going to do this one. And that's just 2 pirates in there. And that tile is completely blocked. And there we go. That's the end of round 2. I'll clean up and we'll jump right into the final round, round 3. All right, all set up for round 3, final round. I get to go first, and I really want to play my red die. Here's the red sailor. And so, yeah, I think we're going to go there. 1, 2, 3. Ah. Can't follow. I get to move this up. So now the first thing I can do is I could build a red house, but since I've already built one, or a red cottage, but since I have the cottage, I can upgrade it to a house just by flipping it. And then I get 2 movements of 3. So I want to go 1, 2 into this farm, and then 1, 2 into here. And that's it. Now they're going to go their red die. Oh, wait, this has to move. Here. No problem. Now I'd kind of like to play my green die. And probably right there, but my green guy's here. So we're just not set up properly. I mean, I could play my blue to right there. Let's see, what's 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I better play my blue to there. Ugh, that's a bit of a waste, but it's okay because they're probably going to follow. And I wouldn't mind if they followed, actually. Okay, they're definitely following. So that's going to be a load of wheat. Now this moves up, and I can get a blue house. It's the only one left. It's actually not going to give me any points right now. Not going to move anyone in there. Okay. One. There's no room there. So they're going to go there. I could follow, but there's no real reason for me to. Because that area is completely filled. Okay, I have to be strategic here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could bring this all the way around to here. 1, 2. I want to activate this. So I could go 1, 2, 3. Oh, and then go here maybe. I could have green just go 1, 2. And then this could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up there if I wanted to. Or just right here. And then I could go purple 1, 2, 3, 4. This seems like the better thing to do. Okay, so I'm going to go purple here. They might follow, but it won't matter. So let's see if they'll follow. Nope, they needed a 5 or a 6 because there's no flag here. This goes up. I get to draw 3 gems. And all my gems will score 1. There we go. Okay. Okay with that. So I could go 6 all the way to here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So I'm moving up orange. I now get a discount of 2. See if they follow. They probably will. There. 3, okay. Up there, and I will follow. There we go. We're going to go in there. This comes all the way around to here. Yeah. And now it comes back over to me, and I want to activate my green. And so I'm going to go to one of these two spots, I guess here. Moving this up and getting a sheep. And then I'm going to spin this to move this up again. I can get a green cottage. I'll just get this generic one that will just give me 2 points. And then this power here lets me exchange 2 animals that are either on farms that I control or in my barn with too many other animals. And so I want to take these 2 animals and make them sheep. So now I'm actually in control of 6 sheep, which is going to really help me there. That's going to be 8 points times 2. That's 16 points for that tile right there. So that's awesome. So there we go. That's the landing phase done. Now it's going to go back over here and we're going to start resolving. All right, let's roll. 3, that's right here. So we're going to go clockwise. Boom. I'm getting 1 out. They're putting out 2 pirates. I think I want to do this. I haven't fully considered the order I want to do this in, but I think getting this done is a good idea. Yeah, okay, so we'll do that. We're going to move into here and then resolve that, get our last guy out. Bam, we accomplished it. That was what I was hoping for. And that's it. Three again, so we're going this way. Boom, right there. And then we can put out the sheep. You might as well get this wheat. I don't think I'm scoring. Yeah, we'll get this wheat. We have 3 wheat coming over there, so man, we're going to be loaded up with wheat. Let's try this. Going to move there. No. Move there. Take that back. I'm going to go there. Get that one. Spend it to move this up. I can then move this up. Get that house. And then I can spend just one of those to build one of these. And I want to build this one. Because that's going to be worth 8 points plus 3 more because of that house. Now they're going to do their yellow thing. I'm not building any more houses, so it doesn't matter. They're going to take some houses. They're then going to take that. And they're going to put a pig. On a farm that isn't taken. They're all taken. So that's that. right here. We're going to get that one. They go down there. All of these are taken, so they're not going to be putting anything on any of these. And then I have a choice of one of those three things. I think I'll get the skill token, and then I'll spend it. This is going to let me build a yellow house. Oh, but that yellow house wouldn't be there because of this. Yeah, actually, there's no reason for me to do that. Well, it is a point. So I'll just take the point. I'll go there. That's going to be 3. So I now have 11 wheat. They're stealing the top 2 skill tiles. Three going around. Getting rid of a few gems there. I only have that left. So it's 3, but -2, so I only need to spend 1. Then I can build another one of these. Where's the best place for me to build this? I have 3 there. Looks like 3 is my best. And they're gonna do this right here. And then they only have 1 more left here. And they would put stuff out, but there's nothing put out, and that's it. Woo, there we go. Okay, so now all we have to do is add up our points and see if we manage to get 120. All we need to do now is to go through and score all of our harbors, our houses, and, you know, our skill tokens and a few extra things. So let's just go through in order and, you know, score it up. There is Harbor 1. We're getting 4 points for every 3 sheep. We control 6, so that's going to be 8 times 2, 16. I should mention that Kitoma does not score points. It's just us, and we just need to complete at least 2 of our beacons, which we've done, and get over 120 points. So that is what we're checking on. Let's see, where's Harbor 2? Right here, we get nothing. 3, we get nothing. And 4 is our big one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, plus this one, 5. And we're getting 1 point for every wheat, and we have 11 wheat. The max that we could score per keeple is 12, so we're under that. That's going to be 55 points. And that means that we did, in fact, complete that beacon. Okay, we didn't score anything from that. We don't have 2 fish. Here we go. We're getting a point per gem. 6 gems, so that's 6 points. 7 down here. We have no leftover wood or stone. 8. Okay, that's a good one for us. It's how many of our keeples we have left in, on our player board. We have 0 left, so that's going to be 6 points. And we got 2 there, so that's 12. 9 is just the number of these headlands that we built. We only built... Oh, we built 3. That's still only 2 points. 10, that's the number of animals that we control in these farms. I believe it's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we didn't get anyone in 11. And we didn't get anyone in 12. Ooh, okay. So our subtotal there is 97. This is going to be close. We now go through our buildings. We did not score much for our buildings. No yellow building. That's just 2 points. This red is 2 points for every 6 keeples that we got out, and we got all 18 of our keeples out, so that's going to be 6 points. Blue is just 3 points because we did get that headlands out. And then that's just 2 points. But now we are going to get another point for every one of our gems. So that's going to be 6 more points. So for buildings and gems, that's 19. Now we go over our headlands. We have the D statue right here. That's 8 points. The E statue I kind of already factored in, so we won't add that. And then the F, 1, 2, 3, that's going to be 6 more points. We now have our skill tiles here, which is actually pretty good. That's 10 more points. And then if we controlled one of these, forest, wheat fields, or quarry, that would be 3 points for each. We don't. That gives us a grand total of 140 points. And so there you go. That is a win. We scored at least 120, and we got at least 2 of those done. In fact, we could have gotten all 3 done if I had just built that right here, which I could have. So there you have it. That was a complete solo game of Keyside. I'd like to thank all of the financial supporters of Totally Tabled, including the totally radical Mitch Fisher, Hextra, John Kohler, Scott Myers, and Jay Satterwhite, as well as the totally bodacious Vaqueeth. If you're interested in becoming a member, you can join on YouTube or my Patreon at www.patreon.com/totallytabled. You'll gain access to my new exclusive podcast, Table Talk, as well as unboxing videos and whatever extra stuff I come up with. As always, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.